What's up, everyone? How you guys and gals doing? Welcome to the show. It's Motorcycle Madhouse Morning Mayhem. We have China coming up in the second part of the show. And guess what we're talking about? Women who make more than men in the relationship. This is a big sticking point right here. We're going to be talking about the Hells Angels stuff coming up in a second. But can you imagine that? Maybe that's why bikers get so grumpy with their old ladies that are strippers. They make a ton more money. But they do get to buy a lot of bike parts. So, you know what? I'm torn with that issue right now. Have to say, what would you do if your lady was hot? Would you let her strip and make more money than you? What is like the average stripper make? Are we talking about 50, 60, 70, $100,000? I don't know. Somebody look it up. And then, of course, in the members only deal, we're going to talk about when is a good time to throw a punch. We're going to see right there. So let's get into this Hells Angels story. There is a conclusion for at least one of the Hells Angels that were indicted on that clubhouse deal. I guess a support club got out of hand and it was caught on video. And then they had firearm offenses, something like that. It was a whole total mess, if you ask me. This is CBS Bay Area. Fairfield Hells Angels sentenced to 3 years for firearm charges. And you know what? This week on the Beatdown podcast, we're going to be talking about felons. How it affected their lives getting a felony. And especially, we're going to be talking about should you get your rights back if you're a felon for a gun. That's going to be a great conversation. It really is. That at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, let's go into this. Fairfield member of the Hells Angels was sentenced Tuesday to just over 3 years in prison for firearm offenses, and this according to the U.S. Attorney Philip Talbert. Michael Mahoney, 30, pleaded guilty in January to possessing a firearm with an obliterated or altered serial number and possessing an unregistered short-barreled shotgun. You know what? One of my favorite ones is those 2-barrel ones, man. You just scatter them out. Ooh, it makes a mess up in close range, I can tell you that. On December 8th, 2021, law enforcement officers executed a search warrant at Mahoney's Fairfield home as part of an investigation into a brutal beating at the clubhouse for the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. And I guess, according to the prosecutors, which, take a grain of salt right there, prosecutors said that in October of 2021, 2 different victims, both of whom were members of a different motorcycle club that is considered a puppet or subordinate club of the Hells Angels, was beaten by Mahoney and other club members based on perceived infractions. What the hell is a support club doing, freaking letting its members talk? And it's any members, man. Why just not take the beating, man, and you're putting people through this nonsense. Sad state of affairs on how everything has become in this scene, man. It used to be a time where you sat there, took your dotted I, and you just left. And you come back for a beer later on. That's the way it used to be, but it ain't like that no more, man. It ain't like that no more. Now, a total of 4 members of the Hells Angels were indicted on various charges stemming from the beatings. And it goes on to say during the search of the home, prosecutors said that law enforcement found several firearms, including a Smith & Wesson 38 cal. I love 38 caliber revolvers with a serial number that had been scratched off, as well as a Sears and Roebuck. Man, I haven't heard this for a long time. Sears and Roebuck 12-gauge shotgun with a barrel that had been sawed off. You know what? I don't get it with these people, man. I really don't. You know, sawed-off shotguns are cool. Why do you got to be jackasses about it all the time, man? That really sucks. Sawed-offs are pretty cool in my eyes. I don't know why the hell they give people problems when it comes to that kind of shit. But anyway, we got a short video coming up, and it explains a little more of what I covered the other day. People were kind of confused with that, and it has to do with that shooting out in Las Vegas, where they dropped the racketeering charges. Seems like the prosecutors up there don't got their crap together, and hopefully this is going to go good for the Hells Angels as far as this case is concerned, because the prosecutors are already screwing it up. So let's take a look at the video.
No longer facing racketeering charges after being indicted in connection to a shooting that publicly took place in the middle of US 95 in Henderson. The judge dismissed racketeering charges today, agreeing with the defense that the indictment failed to specify which defendants engaged in alleged racketeering. Prosecutors accused the Hells Angels of inciting others to engage in violence. 8 members were indicted in September for shooting at a rival gang.
Okay, there you got a little better explanation of what's happening in this trial. I know it gets a little confusing, I do. But the follow-up on this, KTNV.com, and the hearing to set a trial date for several alleged Hells Angels members accused. And remember, anybody that we cover in the news is innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. That's that Law and Order thing, isn't it? I'm just saying. And they asked for a continuance, the attorneys for several of the Hells Angels members, and a continuance on setting the trial date. And if you go to the 13 KTNV Las Vegas, you can actually see the entire hearing that they were doing in court. And again, you know, we know the accusations against them, and the defendants appeared in court for the first time since Clark County District Court Judge Tierra Jones dropped the racketeering and gang charges. That is so huge right there, because racketeering and gang charges, especially that gang enhancement, bad news. And the reason why they dropped the charges because the indictment did not specify which defendants engaged in what type of criminal activities, and further does not include the specificity of the racketeering crimes. So you can see right off the bat that the prosecutors, they got a frickin' hard-on prick, and they wanted to just go for the gumption, throw out them racketeering charges and the gang charges at them. And it looks like they got a pretty smart judge on this case to say, nope, you can't do that. Ain't gonna happen. You know, you gotta specify here. And that's why I'm so glad that they got good attorneys, because like we talked in another video about how public defenders and stuff like that, they never catch on to this stuff. They don't even want to see a courtroom. They just want to go full balls. Let's do a plea agreement. And if you notice, people that don't talk are usually acquitted of a lot of this stuff. So that's why it's very important not to talk. Anyway, we're going to go to the second half of the show. Don't forget to join up with the members only. We gave a free session yesterday. A lot of people in there. What we do is we bring up a subject and bring in the members who wants to talk on screen and all that good stuff. Give their thoughts, a real interactive type of members only type of deal. If you are a member, don't forget you to go under the members and the live video stuff on the playlist. We'll be back right now with China Doll coming up, man. If she's making more money, does it piss you off?
Join the Insane Throttle Members Only Club on YouTube or Spotify and receive exclusive content Monday through Friday at 9:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. Your membership in the Throttle Club helps keep the show going strong. The Motorcycle Madhouse Morning Show now streaming over on Rumble and YouTube Monday through Friday at 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tune in Mondays live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube for the Madhouse Monday Night Raw with Hollywood and Marco. Grab a beer or some wacky tobacco and sit back and bust a gut. Subscribe to China Doll's Viper Pit to get your dose of the world according to China Doll. Real and honest opinions on what's happening in the world today. Join the Queen Viper and take a walk on the wild side of life on China Doll Viper Pit on YouTube today.